Hi everyone, this is our group video discussing the iPremier case study. In this case study we'll look at information security in relations to management and their take on security. Second, we'll look at risk measures and initial controls. Thirdly, we'll develop a business continuity plan for iPremier. And lastly, we'll look at previous businesses that have failed because of improper initial internal. Why is information security important? It's important because it is essentially the business's data and also the customer's personal details. So it's important to safeguard this with proper internal controls. So looking at the case study and the COVID framework, first part of COVID framework states that there should be an enterprise-wide security awareness scheme where employees are aware of how important data security is. So this is not seen in the iPremier case and should be implemented in order to promote data security. Secondly, COVID expresses the need for policy and emergency procedures that should be in place in case of emergency, such as the cyber attack that happened on iPremier's website. Now, this was seen in the case study where the IT department had a binder for emergency procedures, but it was outdated. So it's important to train employees on what to do, as well as keep your data dated. So essentially, iPremier needs to evaluate whether their client's data is more important and potentially paying extra for their to cover their growing market share.
We put into place 3 risk reduction measures, which were the emergency procedures, the QData software, and finally the disconnection of the communication lines. However, in the event of the cyber attack, all of them were ineffective. The problem with the emergency procedures were that they were out of date and they were handwritten, which was hard to find. Secondly, the problem with the QData software was that the guy in charge of this event was on vacation, so the customer service had no idea what was going on. And finally, the problem with the disconnection of the communication line was that Tim had not enabled the detailed logging, hence if they had disconnected the line, they would have lost all customer data. The internal controls I would recommend iPremier to implement are the COVID framework, the COSO internal control integrated framework, and the enterprise risk management. The COVID framework is an ideal detective control system as it consolidates standards from 36 different sources into a single framework. Furthermore, the internal control integrated framework is an ideal preventive system. However, it was later developed into the enterprise risk management by COSO, which is an ideal corrective system as it prevents and corrects any harmful effects which would harm a company.
The business continuity plan is a structure of strategies as well as methods in order to fight unfavorable conditions. The benefits include exposing the business possible strengths and weaknesses, coordination with external stakeholders so that you can build loyal, long-term relationships, as well as a higher efficiency in restoration in the long term, meaning that after a bit of practice, you'd be able to attack and diagnose any situations that you have in the future with your business continuity plan. There are also some disadvantages to this plan, such as that it's tedious and time-consuming to make, and the implementation of wrong/poor strategies could be very detrimental if you don't have the right professionals to help you make your plan. There's also the issue of cluster and overabundance of additional information if you have a big company. Lastly, we prescribe that iPremier use a disaster recovery plan over a business continuity plan just because it focuses more on the IT's perspective and will be more beneficial for cyber attacks in the future.
This case is Anthem case in 2015. Anthem is an American insurance company. The information includes customer name, date of birth, income, and so on. And then Anthem stolen about 800 million customers' data. The cause of this case is hacker invasion of control a mail group company through a phishing email, and then Anthem user company system by remote control and power operations. The hacker further joined the Anthem of the network environment. The other data breach company is Yahoo. Hacker also used that to forget the cookie way, which can sign the account without the password. The reason about this attack event is Yahoo not pay much attention about the safe problem. In this situation, Yahoo do not update the software and improve the information protection system. These 2 cases implicate that company must pay attention on the information protection, and the company needs to improve the internal control. In conclusion, iPrem do not create a good environment to the employees because there is different level for everyone. The company just care about the money. Security is not the main problem for iPrem because it only care about the benefit, not safe or of security, which is main problem. And internal control can prevent, detect, correct problem. There are some benefits and challenges to use that. At last, these 2 cases implicate that company needs to pay attention to the data safe and improve the